Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. Swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, Sam Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, change. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee back. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the Shoutouts covering the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? An amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and this one is going to be fantastic, guys, because there's so much bullish news, and that's one thing I'm having a hard time understanding right now. The news is so bullish. Everything that's happening right now is some of the most bullish stuff I've ever heard of being in crypto the last 5 years, right? And we're kind of sitting here right now, and everything's red. If I showed you my watch list, I mean, the only things that are green right now are gold, DJI, which is the Dow Jones Index, and the DXY is a little green, and Bitcoin dominance is green. And that's it. And I got like 30, 40 different things looking on this chart. And I don't get it, guys. I mean, there's a lot that's happening. Elon and Donald are fighting again. And, you know, we're still the July 7th is the tariff day. So we're all kind of waiting for some news from that. A partnership with India, a partnership with Canada, a partnership with Mexico, so on and so on. I mean, that all could be dropping here, but right now the market's in vacation mode. This isn't my first summer in crypto, right? It's been very similar, except DeFi summer in 2020. But it really started in July, right? Everyone says DeFi summer. DeFi summer was only like 6 weeks. It was like the second week of July up until like almost the end of August and completely fell apart in September. But so kind of hoping for something like that again. This year definitely does feel like 2020 to me in a lot of different ways. I feel like we're all waiting for something, and that's kind of what they felt in 2020. I was lucky enough to come in August of 2020, so for me it was kind of like, all right, let's gear up for this. But a lot of them were waiting January, February, March, April, May for what they saw in December. And do we have to wait till December? I don't think so, but I'm not ruling that out completely either. I mean, the bull run could happen next week, next month, next quarter, right? We're officially in Q3. This is a big deal, but you know, whether that is bull run momentum, I don't know, guys. I don't know what to think right now. I do feel a little exhausted, right? In the sense of, come on, let's do this. Not even sense of number go up. I just want people to come back. I just want excitement in the markets again. I just want this ecosystem to truly become what I know it can become. And that is the next financial wealth generating system, and I'm really excited for that. But let's get the show started. Bring my partner here as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, man? Sorry, I ran it there for a while. I don't know what was going on, but how you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling good. I am feeling good. I know we're doing a little bit of like a, jumping around with Bitcoin's price action, and it's affecting some of these alts. Well, the alts have been red for a little bit, right? But look, there's so many bullish catalysts in the news feed. It's absolutely nuts, guys. There's the first of all, the mainstream adoption is happening. It's starting with an institutional level, and what happens after that is the institutions getting ingrained, merged, and all this stuff. With the StockX, and we'll get into that later. All these or X stock, I should say. StockX, I think, was a sneaker company, but you get what I'm saying. And then what happens? It starts to get twined with everyday people's lives, right? So we're heading there. It's good for the overall industry. I think it's gonna, not benefit you if you stay just with your tribalism. You got to think about this as a big overall industry here, guys, because you want to take advantage of this the most that you can, being early in this space. But I'm excited. I'm not going to be pulled either way with the price action right now, because I feel like I know where we're headed. Parts of Q3 bullish. I'm banking on Q4 to be a really strong end of this year, and we'll see what happens in 2026.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. I mean, the news has just been insane. We'll get that in 1 second, but two things real quick. Shout out to Cryptolution. Thank you so much, my friend. It's a dog spot listing on OKX basically happening. They just came out and they said they have a tweet. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but I mean, dogs don't get listed on every exchange now. They're seeing the momentum, and they're saying we don't want to miss this.
Yeah, I want to say something real quick. So shout out to our guy Cryptolution. Thank you for that super chat there. And this is not just trying to hype up the dog army here. I honestly have not been more bullish about a meme or community than I have been about dog. And I think the last month and a half has really bought me into that. Before we knew it was strong, the mission, the movement, Leonidas constantly putting on spaces, and it was strong. But man, this past month and a half has really made me put more of my investment into it, specifically me. And this is not an endorsement for you guys to go out and run and go do that, but if you are looking for a community that is rock solid, I'm talking about rock solid with multiple generals in it, man, I feel like I found it for this cycle.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And it's one of those tokens where I'm not afraid to show it to people, right? Like, there's a lot of tokens that, we've kind of learned our lesson. We're bullish on it. We speak on it. Just out of the fact that we're buying it ourselves and we're having fun. We're talking about it. When we speak about it, then we have people come in the chat and they say, oh, I bought that token. I told you I bought it. I told you I like it. Like, I don't understand. But something like dog, I have no problem with saying, I think, every portfolio should have a little dog in it. Like, it's just my personal opinion, right? But
yeah.
Okay, I'm comfortable saying that. So, but let's jump into so normally we do like this wheel spins at the end. I want to change it up and do the wheel spin right now. So guys, we're doing a giveaway right now of a fluid pass. I'm going to be actually giving away 4 fluid passes this week. I'm going to give away 1 each day. So what I did was I went over to our X account and I went to the
community tab.
Yeah, the community tab in the X account, and I basically just copied everyone in there. I definitely want to show it real quickly so you guys can get a feel for kind of what I'm thinking here. So I came over to here and I went into view communities, right? And then in the community, I just went up to the top and I went to members and I copied everyone's @ right? And then what I did with that is I came over to the wheel and I put everyone's @ in here. So if you're in that community and you have another chance tomorrow, if you're not in there today, to go over there and join the community. And basically the community is basically just for updates from us. We're going to be giving updates on kind of what we're doing and what we're thinking and just stuff like that. Right now it's very early days, but we're going to come up with other concepts to kind of build that community up and kind of make that community the #1 place to go and get information from OnChain.
Absolutely, guys. You guys should be joining the community regardless. But we are throwing the cherry on top here, giving you away some fluid passes. So head over to our X account, join that community. First of all, you better be following us, #1, and then join the community. But this is going to be exciting. I love giving things away. And this is just another example of that. We'll be doing it, the rest of this week?
Rest of this week, yeah. Maybe next week, too. I got to see how many passes I have. I think I have enough to cover all next week, but we'll see. All right, here goes the spin. And just in Sorry. There you go. Justin Wells. Congratulations.
You used to do that all the time.
I know.
But congrats to Justin Wells. 01. You won a
So
fluid
I'll be
pass, sir.
reaching out to you after the show, asking for your Taproot address. So it's easier when they have Twitter names, because I can message you yourself. So congratulations, Justin. You are your winner, sir. Thank you for being a part of the community as well. So guys, you will have an opportunity every single day this week. We're gonna do it around the same time, beginning of the show. So you guys don't miss out on that. But that is your first winner of the week.
Yes,
all right. Let's kind of get into today's main topic here. Bitcoin millionaires surge, no tax, crypto bill incoming. Robinhood goes full DeFi. So we'll start with Robinhood going full DeFi here. So I'm going to read a couple of these things first, and then I'll get your reaction, your opinion, and then we'll discuss it. Robinhood, the Robinhood chain is currently being built on Arbitrum to power the future of asset ownership. Robinhood's upcoming chain follows the same pattern as Coinbase's base and Optimism network. So basically, Optimism is being the leading the way for Coinbase. It's actually helping Coinbase with a lot of different things, and Arbitrum wants to do that for Robinhood. Once the Ethereum block is confirmed, the optimistic challenge window passes. Those L2 state changes are immutable, final hard decisions, so that they all finalize on Ethereum. So when Base does it, Optimism's kind of doing the transactions for them, and then landing them on Ethereum's L1. So where Arbitrum and Optimism come in, they're doing the roll-up process for you. So you control your chain. You're doing everything you normally would for a chain, but then you have these middlemen almost, or these middle chains almost, helping you roll those transactions up and locking them in the immutable Ethereum. Once they're locked in Ethereum, there's no changes that can ever be made. It is probably the most decentralized way of ever doing transactions, because that you're finalizing them there, and they're finalizing on ETH L1. But what's your opinion on Robinhood having their own chain now?
So we talked a bit about this pre-show in terms of why I think this is big for Arbitrum, because I believe Arbitrum and Optimism, these true kind of layer 2 servicers that can create that environment for big brands, are starting to create a portfolio. Obviously, Coinbase is huge for Optimism, right? Robinhood's pretty darn big for Arbitrum as well. So right now, if you're looking at servicers in this industry, those are this two-headed monster right now, but it's just getting started, right? So with that being said, let's kind of pivot a little bit and focus on the Robinhood side of things. We talked a little bit about how, probably Robinhood going through the halting of the GameStop trading was probably not a very fun moment with their CEO and their team, right? But they were kind of beholden to their third-party servicer, which was Citadel, securities, right? Being the market maker and kind of behind the scenes, right? And so what this does is it gives them more control, I believe. And I think you had mentioned whenever we were researching for today's show that there might be a little fee that goes into it. Now, Robinhood was known for being free, no trading fees, all these things. The way they made their money was leveraging our data, our trading habits with Citadel, actually. So we're selling it to the market makers, to kind of realize, but now they're not going to be using that anymore. So they're going to probably have to throw a little fee for the gas. But like you said, it's probably pennies on the dollar, right?
Yeah, and then what they'll do is they'll open up LPs, right? So you'll have potentially, they want to bring all their stocks that they have on Robinhood on chain. So when you go to Robinhood.com, you're going to be purchasing just like you normally would, but in the back end, you're actually going to be your token's going to be traded in that LP, and it's going to be rolled up and then put on Ethereum L1, right? So finalizing the trade completely. So I don't know. I think this is absolutely awesome. Robinhood, so you can say they're competing with Coinbase here, but in a way, they're just kind of bringing all their stocks on chain. And they want to do it safely, so they're doing it in their own environment where they kind of control the process, because they will have sole control. This is not a decentralized chain whatsoever, right? What Robinhood is creating, it's going to be 100% governed by them, so they control everything. But once those transactions are rolled up and placed on Ethereum, there's no way they can go back and change anything. So they are having Big Brother kind of making sure that once something's finalized, it can't be rolled back.
Yeah. And why are they coming out with this right now? Well, I feel like there's an arms race right now happening with bringing equities, tokenizing equities right now. That was big news yesterday with xStock coming out and doing this on Solana, right? Now you have, I believe, Kraken is leveraging X-Stock. They're on Solana with Raydium from the AMM side of things.
Yeah.
And then now you're seeing these L2 ETH L2 saying, hey, we're here too. Coinbase is coming out. Robinhood's coming out. This is a big moment in our industry, and it's not being super like celebrated. And I get it because there's so many like native Web3 people, but this is a big moment in terms of you got to think about liquidity and trading habits of TradFi people. Now we're not changing. You and I talked about this earlier. They're changing to us, right? So they got to learn how to do things in our world. So we have the upper hand here. So I think it's something to celebrate about, but I can get why like maybe the native Web3 people are taking a little time to kind of, you know, digest this. And is this good? Is this bad? It's good, in my opinion.
This is the best thing that ever happened. I mean, we don't got to go anywhere. We're sitting here and saying, hey, well, we were right? Like we can all smile and say, hey, we were right. We were right. Everything's coming on chain. And it's just a better way of doing things. Going through third parties, going through centralized mechanisms where things can be halted or things can be changed. That's not our life anymore. We are on this digital experience where everything's going decentralized to a certain point. Like I'm not saying completely decentralize it, but it needs to be, at least the transactions need to be centralized. And I love the fact that they're rolling them up, putting them with Ethereum, because they can't roll back the chain at that point. There is no fixing a problem once it's on it's Ethereum. So in a way, yeah, Robinhood's going to be centralized their chain themselves, but then that roll up mechanism is going to be phenomenal. I love it. I love that they're doing this, but this makes Ethereum, like everyone, you know, down on Ethereum, blah, blah, blah. But you don't understand the amount of money is about to come on the EVM chains that roll up on Ethereum. Ethereum is going to be, I'm not talking about ETH1. I'm talking about the Ethereum ecosystem. And then at the end of the day, it's all rolled up on ETH1 anyway. So I just think that, like, we're going to get into Tom Lee's quotes later, but this is probably the biggest opportunity right now. And I'm not saying Ethereum by itself, but I'm just saying if you're building and you're building on these like L2s and stuff like that, there's a lot of opportunity there for sure. But then you have these Bitcoin builders that are building, you know, rolling stuff up on Bitcoin, like Arch, like Middle, right? So I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there too. So it's really exciting right now. I think we're on the ground floor of something special.
Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%. And yeah, right now it doesn't seem like it's gonna, you know, move the needle too much. But you got to think, you know, these are just the beginning part of this new industry that's emerging with kind of this blockchain servicing almost, right? Like, you know, yes, big brands right now, but who's going to service these? There's tons of small, like, you know, secondary and kind of almost the middlemen of the middlemen financial services out there, and they're going to be versions of that, you know. And then so whenever you're talking about thousands of financial companies that are going to be rolling their transactions up on Ethereum, that makes a difference, right? And you just keep increasing that, making it bigger. But yeah, I agree with you. You know, Ethereum is in this perfect situation to where everybody's slept on it in terms of native Web3 people, but the institutions, they're big brain people in terms of money. And so what they're doing is they're trying to build in the background and say, hey, look, you know, this is what we're building over here. Yes, we're building in their arena, but we're creating a little bit of structure that we want to kind of play with as well. And I think it behooves everybody that if you're a Web3 native person, learn all of it, not just what we are proficient in, because we are proficient in Web3 and how it works front to back. But, you know, they're coming into the game and they're creating some things. That doesn't mean you participate in everything they're doing. Just know what it is, because if there's an opportunity over there, you're dumb to not take advantage of it, in my opinion.
100%. But that wasn't even all the news from Robinhood, right? They came out when they said they've successfully transferred private OpenAI shares via Arbitrum, confirmed CEO Vlad, right? So basically now they're taking it. So me and you right now, if we want to buy OpenAI, if we want to buy space, we can't. We're not accredited investors. But now, being on chain, these assets, we're potentially going to be able to buy non-IPO'd stocks, which I don't think there's no reason to go to IPO anymore. Like, if you want to raise money, you can raise money. I think we're about to see a huge change come away from going public. Because you don't need to go public anymore for retail to buy your stuff. And it's going to piss off a lot of the lawmakers who don't want us to join the big boy game. But now, if I want to buy SpaceX pre-IPO, I basically can do it via Arbitrum, via Robinhood.
Yeah, and this isn't a new thing with society. Every time there's a big technological innovative breakthrough, there's always opportunity for the people that are in that younger generation, or are very interested and have passion for that breakthrough that's happening. We saw it in the early internet days, before that industrial period or whatever. I know that is going back 100 years, but you get what I'm saying. There was always an opportunity. 100%. You know what I mean? And so this is our opportunity here to be paying attention, to see what opportunities exist for us native of what we're used to and what's going to be coming in. So yeah, I mean, this is big. Just continually stay focused and keep learning. If you have that passion to be here whenever it was before this, you got enough passion to stay as it continually grows. You don't want to miss that.
Yeah, and you don't want to be the horse dealer when you're seeing cars being sold, right? Yeah, like you got to pivot. You got to pivot. For sure. Now you're seeing a lot of companies, especially Robinhood and Coinbase right now, doing that. So, but Robinhood, they had more news. They actually launched tokenized US stock trading in the EU, unveils layer 2 blockchain, adds crypto staking. So now you're gonna be able to stake as well on Robinhood. So you can stake your Ethereum, stake your Solana, anything that is proof of stake, you'll be able to now do that on Robinhood. And they're going to be rolling out Perps futures in Europe. So Robinhood is they're in the game. They're probably the biggest Coinbase competitor right now, in my opinion, in the US.
They are. Well, they always know how to entice, I think, the younger generation into financial markets. And that was number one. They were the only ones that were saying mobile, like straight up mobile is our game, and then user experience, which that you can tie in no fees along with great user experience on the UI, right? And so they have some really good leadership there. So yeah, I agree with you. I think they're in the top probably 2 to 4 or 5. I mean, right now they're entering a competitive, innovative industry, but they've already entered it, but they're really going full on into it now. So I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive, but they have all the tools to continually succeed.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's get the rest of the stuff in there. So, number of Bitcoin wallets holding over 1 million in Bitcoin has seen a sharp rise in recent weeks. So, recent weeks, you've seen the amount of millionaires come on chain right now is actually insane. So, this is the normal, so these are the wallets holding $1 million or more. As you can see, in the end of May 25th or May 26th, you saw the amount of wallets that from millionaires actually go insane. That's a parabolic line there. And normally when we have these parabolic lines, we go sideways and come back down. That's not what we're seeing now. We're actually seeing more actually come online as well. You're seeing a lot of wallets right now above $1 million in each.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like old money, right? We talk about that a lot. That's the hardest money to break money from them, right? Unless they have an amazing opportunity to get like real estate pennies on the dollar or something like that. But like when it comes to speculative markets, that's the hardest group in my from just researching a bit to separate their money from. But Bitcoin reached a certain level of success and it's a certain acceptance in the traditional financial markets to where this is starting to happen. And I think that we're starting to see it. Yes, obviously, there's institutions that are helping with Bitcoin's price stability and staying above the 6-figure mark. But believe me, there's some old smart money that has entered the markets, and I think they'll continually do it. Because if you zoom out, there's zoom out people. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, they might only have 15, 20 years left in their life, but they're thinking about old money people think about the next generation to pass down to. And when they zoom out, they're like, this is for my next generation. Bitcoin is up only when you zoom out. So
yeah, I'm not doing that though. I'm gonna spend all my money in my life.
Yeah, keep it for yourself.
I love my kids, but I'm not. I worked hard for my shit. You got to work hard for yours.
You gotta spoil them.
They'll get what I have left over. Moving along here, Senator Lummis is drafting an amendment to allow Americans to use Bitcoin and crypto without fear of tax violations. So basically, when you let's just say you want to buy shoes or something with Bitcoin, you're getting taxed like a lot. You're getting taxed like 49% because then it's short-term capital gains tax. So they're drafting a bill right now to make it anything under $250. So if you buy a pair of Jordans for $210, you don't got to worry about any taxes, just like how you would buy the dollar. But anything above that, they're working on amendments as well. But this is really big. Dude, Senator Lummis has been the most amazing person ever, right? She's she's calm spoken. She's not this flashy over the top person. She's like the perfect person to be kind of pushing this stuff. And dude, she is going to be looked at in the future as somebody who
like a pioneer,
legendary status.
Yeah, like a government pioneer for
exactly
the industry. Yeah, her and Hester Pierce actually, and I know they work in completely different areas, right? Like you got one that can push bills through, and one that is more on the regulation side, right? The direct regulation side of securities. But you know, I agree with you, and this is definitely needed because you have to remember, like they're just now starting to like take it. Well, people like her have taken it seriously for a while, but like overall as an entity, our you know, the Congress is just now starting to take crypto like seriously to the point to where they're realizing this is unique. We have never seen anything like this before, to where it can be like a speculative asset, it can be a solid investment instrument, and then also a day-to-day currency. Right, like to where you're using it to purchase things, right? So it's tricky in that aspect, and so I think we need this because this will allow people to feel more comfortable by like being in public and buying and doing exchange of goods with it.
Yeah, 100%. And like this is going to make me want to have some Bitcoin in my like network wallet, right? When you go to the store and you're like, you know, you're sitting there and you're like, I can use my credit card, yeah, I can use my debit card, yeah, but I can use my Bitcoin wallet as well. Right, like let's just say like I have options of doing that, and that's a QR code pops up, and I use that QR code, and then it's done, right? But eventually too, you can use stable coins and stuff like that, which is on Ethereum and stuff like that, which might be a better option because how Bitcoin's so slow. But something like Arch and stuff could change that as well. So I'm really excited for the future of crypto. I feel like everyone's going to be on chain, and they just don't know it yet, and they probably won't know it when they're doing it either.
Yeah. But these are the things that need to be done, right? These are like the first steps of something that when we look back 5-10 years, we're like, oh crap, remember when that barely got going? And there's gonna be a statue of Senator Lummis. No, I'm just kidding. That's a little too far.
I mean, dude, I will fund it. I will help fund those things. It can't be too much, right? All right, let's move along here. So Bitcoin June closing price was 107,179, new monthly close, all-time high close. There's never been a higher monthly close than what we've seen 12 hours ago. It's absolutely insane. Congratulations to everyone who's in Bitcoin, because you're living through a legendary experience. Like we're never really going to have times like these constantly like we're having now. Eventually we're going to get to a point where Bitcoin, it goes up, but it's going to take a long time to get these monthly closes. But this is insane. But with the monthly close comes a new dot. We officially have a new dot here. So I don't know. What do you think about this first? Let's go back a little bit. All right. So let's go to 2013. That was that bull run, right? We got to orange and it was fun and exciting. So in 2017, which a lot of people are saying is very similar to what we have here, we didn't really start moving up until we got into the orange, right? It was the red was consistently up, and then the orange was just spectacular, and the yellow was insane. And then, the next halving in 2020, we've seen, upward momentum the entire year, 2021, and then some sideways in the beginning of 2021, then sideways, towards the end. And then we saw a top there and then down. But again, the orange was actually not a good thing. It was the end of the bull run. And then we got something like this right now. We're red and we just hit the orange. Right? So how do you feel about this chart right now? And do you still, I'm not sure if you ever believed in it, but are you kind of seeing potentially upward momentum from here?
Well, I hope so. Right. I'm hoping that the people that are in the 2017-18 camp are right.
Yeah.
And the ones, 2020 and 2021 was such a hard thing to look at, because we all know now, we look back that there was heavy manipulation from FTX to kind of pump things up early, and then also make money on the way down, and then pump them up again. But like, if you look at the previous two cycles from that, those are very similar. So maybe we get back on track. The line does look a little bit like a lazy line, right? What I mean? It's kind of like treading, but it's still an upward trajectory. So that's a good sign. But of course, I would love to see like some volatility to the upside. I just don't know if we're going to get that. Instead, just getting more of this kind of lazy line that goes up gradually, right? So, if the next dot is continued, exactly something like that. We're going to find out, obviously, pretty soon here, I would imagine. Is this each dot is a monthly dot, right? So, we'll know here at the end of this month or beginning of next month what happens next. I'm expecting a big jump, a little bit of a jump. I guess like if we get to if we end the month at like 120, then that would be a decent sized jump, right?
Yeah, 100%. We haven't really seen any separation whatsoever. I'm expecting some separation here, at least one month separation. Like I look at this one back here, right? Separation was insane. There's a separation there. Barely any separation last cycle. But let's just say we go into the super cycle to where the next 12 months is just kind of repeats the last 12 months, and then we have something like this. It's still, let's just say we enter 2027. I mean, that's still technically, a great bull run, right? I mean,
500K.
We slip off a little bit. Yeah, 500 to 700K with this line right here. Depending on how high if you pop over, which we normally do. Let's say 700K, and then we come back down. Let's just say we come back down and then continue up again. I mean, that would be, or let's just say we just kind of go like this straight up, right? I mean, you could see something like that the next 18 months just being bullish, hitting $6 million by 2030.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, 2030, I don't even want to think about that right now because dude,
it's only 5 years away.
Yeah, I know, but my body already feeling kind of old right now. But no, I definitely, see that in the future. But look, if we do have that lazy line go up, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it as long as because we can still hit like that 120 goal at the end of this month, pull back a little bit, and then continue on. But I would like to see a little strong jump up. We'll see.
Yeah, 100%. Bitcoin is a forecast to hit an all-time high in July. So everyone's kind of expecting July to be an all-time high, and historical data shows strong risk asset returns this month. So let me actually show you this chart here. So yesterday we showed the quarterly, today we're showing the monthly. So far we're negative. We're red in July. Oh no. But
day one.
3 straight months. Day one. But we had 3 straight months of green. And I didn't realize this, but April was really bullish. And then May June was not that bullish really for Bitcoin.
No, if you look at the monthly returns, no, it wasn't. And April kicked things off. You got to remember after that first week. So, is there any that we had for 2017, baby? And that's what they say that we look very similar to that, right? There's 5 right there with a little bit of a break, a pit stop in September, and then continued on. I really hope we do hit that 2017, trajectory. Let's see if it happens.
Let's say we get a 17%, we're at 125, right? And then if we get a 65% in August, then we're at what are we at? 125, 60%. We're at like 190 by the end of August. And that goes with Colin's chart, bro. Like
hey, I'm still I'm still a part of the M2 global gang, man. I'm still part of that money supply. I mean, it hasn't broken down completely and detached, so I'm still in that camp.
Yeah, 100%. Fun to look at, fun to kind of see what happens, but definitely expecting a 2017 like year. September could be a little red after a huge July and August, but we will see. But I think we're still bullish. I think that's the main thing here. I don't think the price action that has my entire chart looks so bad. I don't even want to look at my watch. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at right now. I mean, dude, look at that. How can you be bullish when you're seeing that right now? Look,
because everything's on sale.
Well, if you have money, man, like I'm all in, bro. Like I'm not poor. I'm just fully allocated.
There you go.
All right. Jump into some more bullish news here. So Raydium-xStocks are bringing Nvidia, Tesla, Circle, Strategy, and SPY on-chain, revolutionizing. I love on-chain revolutionizing. It sounds awesome. Internet capital markets. So this to me was a rushed kind of development, which is completely fine. But Robinhood coming out and saying, hey, we're going to be tokenizing stocks. StockX was like, yo, go live with this today. Let's do this today. Let's do it. So it's crazy that Robinhood and xStocks are complete competitors, right? I mean, they're both, they're going to have the same everything. xStocks is going to be Solana, based, it seems like, and Robinhood is going to be the EVM. So when you're trading stocks on EVM, let's just say on Ethereum or any of these other chains, you're going to be doing it through Robinhood's stocks, unless there's another competitor. And then when you're trading on Solana, you're doing it through these xStocks. But xStocks seems to be really talked about right now. Everyone on the timeline is just saying, hey, I'm trading stocks now on Raydium.
Yeah. Do we know if it was that order, or was it vice versa? Raydium xStocks comes out and goes live, and then Robinhood makes that announcement, hey, we're coming up right next? Or was it
Robinhood went first?
But they just didn't launch first. Okay. Yeah, this could be the case, right? But at the end of the day, it made a big splash yesterday on crypto Twitter. Probably not as big as it should have, but you're seeing on crypto Twitter a little bit of two sides of the coin in terms of argument here. You got Beanie, he's a pretty big personality on crypto Twitter, says tokenizing stocks is bullish for stocks and bearish for crypto. Liquidity is finite. But I don't think he's thinking about, he's saying like stocks competing with crypto is not good because there's going to be a lot more people that I think it's bullish because we can pull those people over that would never come over here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Especially if there's products that they don't get over there because it's more controlled. It's more, you know what I mean? So yes, probably a little more risky over here with like straight up leverage, but there'll be options that come over here. This is just step one. So I'm in the other camp. I think you're bringing over more money than you're taking away from these coins.
The money's already here. Like that's the problem, right? The stablecoin market cap is insane, and barely any of it's in DeFi.
Yeah, I'm talking about retail. I'm talking about retail.
But I'm just saying, like, you can't. There's so much money in stablecoins that you can't say, like, oh no, you're taking money away from the stock. Like, there's money that's not even going in the crypto right now. That's just sitting in stablecoins that now potentially don't have to go out off chain. That's the biggest thing, keeping people on chain and giving them more opportunity. So now you can go into a Solana Tesla LP pool. Those stablecoins can now, they're going to have to purchase Solana. They're going to have to purchase Tesla and go into an LP pool and earn.
So does it make you scratch your head a little bit now? Because you're like, why was there so much stable coming on chain? And then this gets announced. Now this gets announced, right? My second point here, like question to you is, and the Bitcoin, some Bitcoin maxis might be listening, maybe not, I don't know. But regardless,
maxis don't watch our show.
We don't want them to. No, just kidding. But the point or the question I have is, does Core start to kind of open their mind a little bit to saying, hey, look at all these other chains are being utilized for this TradFi, I'm just saying, like, upgrade. Do they think about possibly upgrading to adding OpCat or OpCTV so Bitcoin can compete in terms of having like these, maybe like a upper echelon platform that allows equities to be traded within Bitcoin? Now, I thought about that, and yes, you still always have the argument of the security and the number one asset in terms of like overall market cap and all that stuff. But do you think it benefits Bitcoin to do that, or just stay out of it?
You got to remember who's in this now, right? You have Larry Fink now. You have you have the big boys entering. There will never be a hard fork on Bitcoin ever again, because Bitcoin's never been hacked. They're never going to open up that opportunity to let Bitcoin get hacked. There will never be a hard fork ever on Bitcoin again, as long as Larry Fink and them hold Bitcoin. Guaranteed. I will bet my life that unless it's a security, there's something with security, right? We got to fix this real quick. That they figured out a way to hack this. That's the only way there will be a hard fork. They're not going to open up any opcodes to letting us build there, but we don't need them. We have solutions like Arch. We have solutions like Middle, and there'll be more and more solutions like the Lightning Network.
I think they'll encourage that. They'll probably encourage it because they'll say this is a way to be as native as possible, but with having that computation that everybody's looking for.
And Bitcoin can be that Ethereum where it's finite, where you're rolling up these transactions and landing them in a Bitcoin block. I think that is the area to go to. Ethereum's not even being used as this big chain.
True. They're basically being almost. I mean, yes, there's some stuff that's natively like staked in DeFi on there, but like when you look at the usage tendencies, or like I guess like characteristics versus like 2020 and 2021, it's like night and day. Even 2022, like whenever Pepe was being traded and stuff like that doesn't happen anymore. And it's almost like, is this going to be the new? It's very similar to Bitcoin, except for those those big entities that kind of do things almost automated. I feel like, right?
Yeah.
Like not the degen side as much. So I don't know. You have a good point there.
I mean, there's no reason to. We're getting things like on the Lightning Network now. People are building there these Lightning L2s now. I just feel like as long as you roll up the transactions and finalize them on the chain of choice, whether that's Ethereum or Bitcoin, they're going to live forever, and they're going to be. There's no reason to kind of risk security of the asset that is the greatest asset that's ever lived. There's no reason to risk it at all when you have these solutions, and people are gonna come up with more solutions. That's the best part, because innovation is the greatest thing. Like the workarounds are amazing, and we're seeing more and more of them. So
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's get into the crypto fear and greed here. So last week we're at a 47. Yesterday we're at a 52. We're pretty much dead center. A 47 and 52 is my hit for you today.
49.
Pretty much there. 50. I don't think my math was good.
49.5.
Yeah, 49.5. Yeah, you're right there. So, but 50 is right there. So I feel like tomorrow we're gonna be in the 40s. I mean, just looking at my watch list. Ugh, look at that, bro.
Maybe.
It's so red.
Depends on what happens for the second half of today, which is kind of tough for me to get a feel of myself, but it is what it is.
But that is your crypto fear and greed here. But let's jump into the Bitcoin price action. The Bitcoin price action. Oh, I have a new one for you. Ready for today's?
Yes, let's see it.
Well, join! What's the price of Bitcoin?
Bro.
All right, so let's get to the Bitcoin price action.
You're getting better. At least you can integrate people now.
I only get 3 a day, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I can't really do much with it. So I get 3, I use them, and I just put on the best one that I made. So, but yeah, I mean, let's watch it again. Hold on.
Well, join! What's the price of Bitcoin?
I need to do that though. I need to go running. That's for sure.
Yeah, and everyone's like, "What is this guy doing?" That's how I kind of feel. But let's get into the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, Botanix went live today. They're going to be the #1 trading perps platform on Botanix, which is a big deal because not only when you're trading on Artura.finance, playing the perp game, you'll also be earning an incentivized something from Botanix. So you definitely want to get on board. They're probably going to announce it very soon anyway, but it's really going to be exciting, guys, and I want you guys to be a part of that. But not only that, you're going to be getting the ARA airdrop as well from Artura, and that is one token that I'm very bullish on because you guys can get it for free. I'm not telling you guys to buy it. I'm telling you to farm it with a little bit of money, a little bit of perps when they drop. It's going to be exciting, and they're actually going to be joining us in about 19 minutes. We're really excited for that. And on top of that, they're also going to be going on Hemi. They already said they're going to have a token, right? So they're going to be incentivizing their chain with a token airdrop. And I want you guys to get that free token. That token is actually backed by Binance, probably going to be listed on Binance as well. So when you're using Artura on Hemi, you're going to be earning the ARA token and the Hemi token. Really excited for that as well. Definitely check them out. But let's jump into the Bitcoin price action.
Let's do it, which is not looking great right now. But before we get into Bitcoin price action, help us out, guys, on the YouTube side. Smash that like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, let's share the space, guys. Let's get out there. Let's tell the world all about OnChain Revolution so they can learn and get onboarded to our space and industry as well. Same thing on the abstract side. We love all of you guys for helping us. Thank you so much. Let's jump into some price action and see how things are going. Yeah, so as you can see on the 1 hour chart, we have formed a downtrend that started on Sunday, and it hasn't stopped, man. We were at 108,800 on Sunday. That's wild. All right, so let's take a look at the local price action here. Let's talk about when we started the sell pressure, which was Monday at 1 a.m. For the hour chart, and we haven't stopped. And every time it looks like we're going to exhaust and get out of sell pressure, it builds back up. So what is happening? Is there manipulation happening? I think Coach Cat says manipulation doesn't stop, and I agree with you. It doesn't. But this is, looking like hopefully we can eventually stop this. But right now it looks like it's going on a little bit of a sell pressure run. Every time it has dipped below 106, though, it has bounced back. It hasn't really gone below 105,900, since I started looking at it this morning, really. But let's kind of see possibly what's going to happen in the next 4 to 6 hours here. Look, it's not exhausted right now. It looks like it's kind of like in a strong force right now in terms of the sell pressure. Let's hope that turns around. We still have a green candle though on this hour, so I think we got to finish this hour with the green candle. That would be really good. Let's look at the local support and resistance. Right now we're at doing data from Tuesday. So this morning at 4 a.m. Let's check it out. All right. Right now we're obviously hitting some resistance. You can tell it's hard to get back above 106 at this very moment. And then above that, same thing. Still a lot of resistance all the way up until, goodness gracious. Actually, man, we don't. 106 600 is really kind of when we're balanced back out here. So hopefully we can turn things around, because if not, we're showing resistance has the edge at the 105 900, and it balances back at 105 870, but don't want to play around down here, because yes, we have some more support right here. This one's pretty strong, this area 105 800, and then it balanced out again here, and then we lose the support at that 105 600. We don't want to get down here, because I feel like if we do that, we could free fall. So really need to show some strength in this area and get some high bids, push us up here, get some more transactions on the buy side. But yeah, that's what it's looking like on the hour chart. So the next 4 to 6 hours might be a little tough. Hopefully we can stay within at least the 105 to 106, 105.5 to 106 range, and not really hit that free fall area, but we'll see what happens. So that is the hour chart, guys. Let's take a look at the 4-hour chart. Does not look great either. It's actually giving confirmation that we might bleed down further. You can see the MACD showing the sell pressure built right back up. It looks strong too. But we did get back above 106, so that's good. Let's see what happens here in the next 10 minutes. But yeah, you can see the Bollinger Band starting to open up as well. That's not good for the 4-hour chart at all, because each candle's 4 hours. So if this stays open, man, I'm really hoping that we can, not free fall here and maybe form either a green candle on the next one, or just try to build back up and make a comeback here. You see the stochastic. We've been down here for a long time though. You see we creeped into the oversold territory on the 4-hour on last Thursday, and we haven't made it up to overbought on the 4-hour chart. That's really not great, right? Even when we hit that 108 800 on Sunday, we only made it about halfway up. So I think we're due, but this is not telling me that we're due today. Maybe, I don't know, so I don't know. Maybe we get some bullish headlines or something and make a strong comeback on the shorter time frames, and that can really turn this chart around. But from what I'm seeing right now on the 4-hour chart, caution is what I'm seeing. That's what I'll say. All right, the daily, we had some good daily candles on the MACD. It looks like it is starting to exhaust right here. I'm really hoping for possibly like a bull flag here though. Maybe pop up out of here, I'm hoping. But this exhaustion here paired with the 4-hour, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not a guy that likes to give bad news, but the data is telling me that we might have a bad couple days. But whenever you do start a month that's supposed to be bullish, sometimes it starts off that way. It's like the pullback happens, and then we get into that pull up in the middle of the month. But we'll see. All right, the weekly chart. Weekly chart still looks okay. We did, start this week with a red candle. We're sitting here at the second day of the week, and sometimes it turns around, right? But so far, it looks like it's been pretty strong on the red candle side of things. We do have a lot of time to turn things around. We'll see if that happens here. Setup still looks okay. Doesn't look horrible. Remember we had a similar setup at the last part of 2023, where it looked like it was going to exhaust, and then we popped back out. So we could get an exhaustion here to the first week of July, and then pop up the second or third week, and then start that buy pressure going again. But this also looks like something similar here, right? Like in terms of the kind of like a bull flag here, a bull flag, right? And then pop up here. So we could see something like that, but we shall see. So that is Bitcoin, guys, for you. Definitely watching Bitcoin's price to try to stay above 106. We'll see if that's possible. Looking at the others chart looks kind of Not too much to say, honestly, about the other chart. So for those wondering, other charts, everything besides Bitcoin in the top 10, but the other chart is just tailing Bitcoin, delayed reaction. That's what it is. This morning, when Bitcoin was pulling back, Ethereum looked decently strong. And I'm curious, with all the headlines with, Tom Lee coming in and switching over a little bit to have his company focus a bit more on Ethereum, if this could be like Ethereum's moment for the next month or month and a half to really start to break out and say, hey, I'm here. I've just been kind of dormant and now I'm waking up, because these institutions have been paying attention to Ethereum, that's for sure. But yeah, we're not going to really see too much here unless Ethereum does kind of take control of its destiny in the shorter term. And if it does, then we'll see this pop up with it. Otherwise, we got to hope Bitcoin, starts to show some strength again. So that's what I'm seeing for the for Bitcoin's price action, along with the others. Let's look at crypto bubbles are looking horrible. It looks like we got about a 95% pull red and about 10% green here. This is the 100 through 200. Let's look at the top 100 here. Same thing, though. You can see there some meme coins definitely pulling back. You got SPX pulling back 12.6%, Dog with Hat pulling back 8.7%, Bonk pulling back 6.9%, and Pepe pulling back 4.8%. Some utility tokens, Virtuals pulling back 4.8%. Well, this is not utility, but Fartcoin has been our indicator. It's back down 5.7%. Pith pulling back 5.7%. HTX Global up 5.7%. I don't know, maybe some rumors of Dog getting listed. That might be why. No, I'm just kidding. But they're ones that's Pangu must be in the news. They're up 1.4%. Let's take a look at the top 200 now. MOG down 9.7%. What else do we have? In Raydium down 7.4%. That's a little shocker, especially with the news of being the AMM for xStocks. That's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, look, this is obviously a cause and effect from Bitcoin kind of not showing too much strength right now. Everything's kind of pulling back, but it has been like this. You said, right, on your list, it's been pretty much consistently red, right?
Well, that's like 2 weeks, dude. It's been every day. I mean, once in a while I have something, but like it right now, dude. I mean, the only thing green is gold and DJ. Dude, the Dow Jones is it's about to break another all-time high. It's almost 1% today. It's freaking wild right now.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't really get that. Okay, so Core is down 4.1%. Dog is down 6%. But hey, guys, honestly, yes, I know this data is like depressing a little bit, but
the news is so good and the price is so bad. I just don't get it. Yeah. Even look at even the DXY, dude. It's officially in the 96 range. Officially, like we haven't been here in years. I mean, move, but I don't get it. I don't get why we are red. Like this is the ultimate green signal. Like we're in 96 territory. We don't ever go here. Like this is the last time we were here. Like it's just look at that. This was July of 2020. It's just annoying. It's annoying.
It is annoying. It's very annoying. But hey, things could be worse. At least I feel like Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be crashing to 92. Well, as Cash Cat says,
anything can always be worse, right? So
exactly.
I mean, you can. So yeah, you're right.
We could be going through a little storm before. I was gonna say calm before the storm, but yeah.
But we haven't get to the calm yet because it's so. But that's the thing too. It is kind of calm. Like it's summertime calm. Everyone's out. So yeah, this is very calm, and the altcoin doesn't like calm. They like exciting. We're not getting that. But let's jump into the roll call here and get into your comments. Every day we like to showcase the first is first. And today, congratulations, Lackey, bruh. I don't know how you do it, dude, but you are just killing it right now. 32nd win of the year. Congratulations. They call you Lackey Body in the chat, so you know. But yeah, you have their 32nd win. If you don't know what this is, every day we take the first comment in the YouTube chat and we put it on the list. That person is going to win a Bitcoin frog, and it does look like Lackey is the front runner right now. But Webdro and Danny Boy are still there. Danny hasn't won in a little while. He is probably back to work. But yeah, this is still anyone's game though. We still have 150 days left in the year. Actually more than that. I think it's 365. So we have half of that left. But as anyone's game, so we'll see who ends up winning that Bitcoin frog. So But let's jump into the rest of the comments here. Like he was first, like I said. And then we have Mr. Hanky is here. Merlin's lucky. Shout out to you, my friend. Webdro is here. Shout out to Webdro. Then we got Spindrift is here. Vader Time. He said summer sucks. I agree. I hate the summer anymore. Satoshi Nakamoto is here with Dog. Chips and Dips is GM. Abstract is here. No. Shout out to Nanukis. No here. 2 days in a row. Appreciate
Let's
you, my
go.
friend. No. So I used to say last summer. Nighthawk is here. He says GM, two of my favorite chads. Shout out to Nighthawk, man. We love you, man. Cryptolution says dog spot listing on OKX. Yes, probably nothing. Yes, we're gonna get into that in a little bit as well. Myself says even dog does half of what Doge did last cycle. That's 100x. I mean, yeah. $1,000 gets you 100K. $10,000 gets you $1 million, 100%. Vic is here. He says, GM, any advice on safe, reliable, respected cold storage options that you trust or currently use? Appreciate you guys. Cheers. Jade. So yeah, the Jade wallet's pretty safe. Ledger, I mean, it's just so it's all the hard wallets are safe. It just depends what you do with it.
Yeah.
If you connect it to a site, don't do that. If you buy a hardware wallet, right, and then just good to go. There is another option that I recommend as well. If you don't want to get the hardware option, that's it. Download a wallet, right? It doesn't matter what it is, MetaMask, Unisat, whatever. Download a wallet, write the words down, send that asset to that wallet, delete the wallet from your computer, delete it from your computer completely, right? And then when you're ready to sell, you go to a wallet, you put your words in, you sell the item. That wallet is basically offline. So you can kind of go that way too. Just remember you have to keep your words. But same thing with the hardware wallet, you still have to keep your words as well.
Yeah.
So there is that option, but make sure you delete it off of your computer completely, like whatever the wallet that is, MetaMask or whatever. And you can even re-download MetaMask and get a hot wallet as well. But that way you're basically offline. So any thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, it always comes down to user error, right? You know, the hardware wallets that have been hacked or whatever, it's because they connect them to a website. And like for me, that's not the point of a hardware wallet. Yes, it's an option for you to do that, but like for me, I could send directly with my hardware wallet, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever, to Shizzy if I want to. I'm okay with that, but I'm not going to connect it with the site. I'm just not going to do that. That's me personally, ever. Yeah, I would never do that. That's what the cold wallets are for, or sorry, the hot wallets are for, right? And even then, there's different hygiene practices that you use.
Yeah, and 100%. And like my idea with just deleting the wallet from the computer, just save that wallet address and you check it from time to time, right? You can go to one of the scanners and check, make sure your assets are still there. So you can just keep that completely off your computer. So you can go to the hardware wallet. You can do the way I do it, which I just delete the wallet from my computer. If my computer's ever hacked, I mean, there's no way they can get into that wallet anyway because it's not on there, right? So I mean, there's different ways, but I think every hardware wallet is safe. It's just you got to make sure that you don't do any user errors. Coach Katz is here. Cash Cats with the coffee and the donuts and the dog go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Cats, our guy. We love Cash Cats here. I'm so glad you're back, Cash. You're absolutely awesome. The coach is here. How did we come up with Coach? Was that just my?
Because I think you viewed it and called him Coach Cats one day, and then the picture kind of looks like it could be like a basketball coach, like like a high school or college basketball coach. So I was just like, okay.
Cash, I'm curious, dude. Is that you in the photo? I would love to know. You can not tell me too. I mean, it's up to you. Myself here is that yep, all stocks will eventually be on chain. Everything will be on chain, dude. Every financial item in the world will eventually be on chain. Patty Poo, the Bitcoin machine himself, says, sup, my guy, Patty Poo. Enrique Vargas is here. Hi, my friends. At the office, listen to the best crypto couple.
Appreciate
I guess we're a crypto couple. Thank you, Enrique. We appreciate you listening, man. It really means a lot to us that you guys even listen to us. So I just want to thank you and our appreciation to you for choosing us. I mean, there's a lot of shows right now you could be listening to. The fact you're listening to us, absolutely amazing. Lackey Lukey is here. GM. Ricky Ricardo. To all the boys that were here at 16K. Dude, I remember going to my boss because I was at my job at that point, and I went to him. I was like, "Yo, dude," because he bought 2 Bitcoin at 50K last cycle, and he was pissed at when it was at like 20K. And I was like, "Dude, don't frown, average down." And he was like, "No, I'm not buying any more of this shit. I just want to get my money back." And he hit me up in like November. He's like, "We still holding?" Because it hit like 80, 90K.
That's funny.
He's still holding it, but he basically told me I was an asshole because I convinced him to buy at 50K. And then, but now look, it's good now.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Cash Cat said manipulation is not
Ron
going
Paul.
away. What's up?
Oh, sorry. You can get to his comment down at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Coach Cat says, my guess is Bitcoin super cycle. Look at what gold did when ETFs happened. Yes, that's true. It was like 12 years straight up, right? And then we have Chief Axel is here, followed by Paulie says Bitcoin Cash. Paulie, I don't think anyone says Bitcoin Cash anymore, but it's still Bitcoin in a way. Stan says Botanix or OpNet with the BTC. So
Botanix.
They're two different.
Yeah.
OpNet is creating smart contracts on L1. Botanix is a BTC L2. So they're two different.
But Botanix though, because I
100%.
I don't like
yeah.
OpNet.
Cash Cat says 92-ish possible. I hope not, but it could happen 100%. I mean, anything can happen, right? Worst case scenario. Tim Baker says Ledger Nano S is going away. Have to move assets to a new ledger. So you don't have to move your assets to a new ledger. You can just put in your seed phrase and just send those out. I see what you mean, but the way crypto works is you don't really need to send your assets to a new ledger. You can just put those words in to that new ledger. So. And then Cash Cat says, brother, my PFP is Ron Paul. I'm not that good looking in real life. That's hilarious. And then Paulie says, not a fan, but it's picking up. Maybe a second option for institutions. What was
Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash.
Oh, Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, I mean, it's 100%. It's just for Bitcoin for sure.
What institutions would do that though? But maybe, maybe.
All right, guys. It's time to jump to our next segment. So every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, we like to bring our good friends over our Artura. We talk about them every day. They sponsor the Bitcoin price action for the show, and these guys this is one of the bullish teams that out there, in my opinion. These guys are cool. They're calculated, absolutely amazing people to talk to as well. They're core contributors. They're actually contributing to a decentralized Perps network they're going to be on multiple L2s. The two that they're choosing right now are going to be Botanix, who went live today. I can't wait to jump in and get their comments on that. And then they're going to be also on Hemi as well. I'm really excited to talk to these guys. It's a huge day for the Bitcoin L2 network. So let's bring them up. Instant. Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
Hey guys. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a big day, one of many big days to come.
Absolutely, man. I know you guys have been working really, really hard for this day, and especially the CTO side of things and that tech team. Just like kind of, we meet with you guys consistently, and they just kind of disappeared. But it wasn't that they disappeared; they're just like preparing for this big day, right? And there's a lot that goes into it. So, how does it feel to kind of? Do you feel like some relief off the shoulders of the team here for kind of having this first milestone under your belt?
Yeah. So so obviously Botanix is going live, and that means like a number of things. I mean, one is that that's we're a strategic partner of theirs as well. We've been building on them for the past year now. It seems like we got in contact with them about a year ago, almost exactly. So it's like a huge milestone, and I think like what this means for the ecosystem and for us as a whole is everyone's finally going to be deploying their apps on Botanix, us included. I think they're doing a slow rollout, so there's only gonna be a few apps going on right now. But I know that they have the rest of the teams coming online. I think like as early as next week, and then we're gonna be right around the corner as well. So. It's a very exciting time, and there's a lot of really cool announcements to be made between today and next week as well. So would love to kind of get more into that.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to real quickly. I just want to show their hype video real quick because it's actually really cool. Let me actually make sure the sound's on. Let me know if you guys can hear this. You hear it?
Good.
So pretty awesome that you guys, and when they speak, sorry, get rid of the sound. When they speak, one of the few dApps they talk about is you guys, and that has to be absolutely awesome. That this chain is one of the most, a lot of people were looking forward to this chain dropping. I remember, I think Singapore at
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. I wasn't there, but I heard, no, Singapore, wasn't it Singapore?
No, well, I was in Singapore, but Hong Kong was the Bitcoin
Okay.
Asia conference. That's where they showcased like themselves.
Yeah, so really, really exciting. So, this probably is like definitely. Obviously, you guys ain't launching today, but this definitely has to feel good knowing that you guys are one step closer to your launch.
Yeah, well, I think it's obviously, yeah, like you said, like we're one of the featured and premier perp dexes that are going to be launching on them. So like we work closely with their team. We're one of their like day ones, so to speak, in which like they've sort of helped us foster community and given us a lot of help in sort of launching our product. So we're very closely aligned, and they have like a really interesting slow rollout. I think too, of like increasing features. That's really exciting. Like right now, I think it's kind of just like their mainnet, so you're gonna be able to use the chain. I believe like you can actually start earning Bitcoin on their mainnet right now.
Hold on. Is this official?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're gonna get more into it probably in like the next hour or so. There's like gonna be a lot more things and campaigns that they're gonna be announcing, but I'm not sure if it's live at this moment. But I've been given the go ahead where users can connect to their website and start using the platform, and they have some gamified events taking place where like just by connecting and going into like their little their city and connecting your wallet and things like that, you can start potentially earning Bitcoin. Would definitely move early on this because they are rewarding early users. And then what's how that kind of works, and I think how they're setting it up is like, yeah, you don't need any capital to begin. You can just like start earning BTC right away, and then that'll give you at least like some liquidity to use across the the rest of the dApps that are going to be launching over the next coming weeks. So it's going to be a slow rollout. There's lots of stuff that's coming up as well.
Yeah, and for the audience that didn't catch that, this is kind of Botanix's kind of incentive give back, right, to early adopters. Is they don't have a token, so what they're doing is they're giving you opportunity to earn Bitcoin by utilizing the chain. Here's some features. They posted this 2 hours ago. It says now you can pay with Lightning. Wow. I didn't realize that was a feature. Trade, lend, borrow, stake, leverage. Obviously, you guys are going to be one of those leverage options here, but it seems like these are the first kind of rollout featured dApps that are going to be here. But you guys have been working with multiple different ecosystems. Them, Hemi, and et cetera. What would you say like separates Botanix from the others? Not necessarily better, because I know they all have different benefits, but like, is there anything that stands out with them?
I think they're just a great ecosystem to be a part of overall. I think they definitely learned from like the mistakes of some of their predecessors. They had like community members that have been around with them, before like their testnet was even live, and that's carried through all the way to today. So like really good unique community. Sort of as you guys said, like Botanix doesn't have a token. Like Bitcoin is their token, which is why they're doing this like whole Bitcoin airdrop, so to speak. Obviously I think they also try to like align themselves like way more closely with just the ethos of Bitcoin, having that security and decentralization, and sort of matching that with Ethereum's sort of DeFi features, kind of bringing together like a perfect culmination of like use cases with Bitcoin essentially.
Yeah, man. And I'm officially in. I got my Botanix wallet set up here. I'm ready. Bitcoin is the gas token, which is amazing. So yeah, so we're looking forward to it. I'm gonna get some funds in here and get ready for some Artura fun, where I can lose all my money because I'm a shit trader. But I'm learning. I'm going to learn.
Well, actually, on that note, we do have our XP program coming up, which is our points program, and we do have like, we're trying to make it so that like anybody can actually like earn on our decks, and if obviously like the more you trade and things like that in higher volume, like the more we're going to reward those users because they're just investing more in our product and ideas. However, if like people are looking for like ways to trade with like minimum risk, we also are offering like a USDT pair. So like theoretically, you can just trade using that, and you wouldn't actually have to have like any downside or like fear of being liquidated, so to speak. Obviously, we're gonna have like our vault program as well, where users can deposit, into our vaults, and they can earn trading fees and experience that way. So. Any type of user you are, if you're not a trader, like there's definitely ways in which you can capitalize on our platform, daily check-ins, some other gamified aspects, community events. So if you're not a trader, like you can still learn on our platform like very easily.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm probably going to play. I'm probably going to play in the vaults. Could you kind of explain how a vault would work?
Yeah, so the vault in this case, we essentially use these to provide liquidity to our platform. So in mostly, we're using USDC, where you deposit USDC into our vault. This, becomes a counterparty in every trade. So you're providing liquidity to the platform. And in return, what you're doing is you're earning trading fees generated from people trading on the platform, which, could potentially be like very high. I think we're offering like about like 50% of trading fees to depositors in the vault. And then also like you can earn XP, which is our points program on top of doing that. But we're in the Botanix ecosystem, so we're partnering with a bunch of the Botanix stablecoins that are launching as well, and they have like high yield options on like Bitcoin, like staking Bitcoin, things like that. So like theoretically, what we're working on with some of these Botanix partners is you can stake your Bitcoin, get some in like a Rove BTC or some of these other stablecoins like PUSD, which already have like high yield on them, and then you can deposit them into like an Artura vault and then earn additional yield on top of that. So you could be earning like supercharged yield by depositing some of these partner tokens on Artura.
I love it, man. So potentially with the vault, I can earn trading fees from people. I'll earn XP, which we all think we know what the XP is for, and then potentially I'm earning Botanix Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also, wow. I mean, I can't say anything specifically, but like if there are some of these partners are launching their own points program, you could also be earning their points program on top of that. So
in that vault, that one vault, I'll potentially have four ways of earning.
Potentially, wow. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. And guys, remember, remember the young, I believe it was Indian teenager that was using Raydium every day for like a year, or Jupiter, sorry. Jupiter every day. He earned $1 million from the airdrop. I'm not saying that's what is going to happen here, but why not? Just go through your. I'm telling you right now, like I'm just envisioning Shizzy's like setup, because like he has like probably 4 screens with like all his like air.
I got farming, 3 screens
with all his air farming and all that stuff. But like at the end of the day, it does pay to pay attention, and it pays to really get involved, and you're helping as well, because if there are some bugs or something like that, you report them and all that stuff. But like this is the main net stuff here. But I'm excited about it, and I think I was a little bit worried because liquidity across the entire industry seemed to be kind of really
stagnant,
and just like people not releasing too much out of the stables and stuff like that. But with like the recent news of like institution adoption and stuff, I think it's the perfect time coming here in the next month to 3 months for the Bitcoin L2 ecosystem to really start to launch things. So I think the timing's matching up. What do you think about that, Instant?
Yeah, I think so as well. I think, for a long time I've been talking about like, we're just waiting to pull the trigger. There's a lot of things in the background, and now I think is the time. And I also think like our thesis as well is kind of the same, where it's like, institutions are going to be buying Bitcoin. They're doing that right now. Nations are putting it on their books as well. The kind of the next step of that would be like, getting into Bitcoin DeFi more, if you want to like maximize your yield or your earnings on that. So I think like chains like Botanix or Hemi or some of these other ones that are like, getting ready to gear up and really push forward this new DeFi narrative and try to avoid some of the mistakes of their predecessors is really promising.
And your timing is absolutely perfect, right? And I say that because we both think that we're about to enter a 6 to 12 month bull run, right? And if we're right, potentially playing with Perps, obviously safely, right? With it could a lot of people catch up that maybe or on the sidelines, right? Because
Yeah,
that's kind of what Perps kind of gives you that opportunity to play with less money, but actually earn more.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, also you can just, if you don't even want to like perp trade, you can just deposit in the vaults and then, you know, go
100%.
sleep for 6 months as well. So,
Yeah.
you know,
And
that's
then wake
also
up.
an option.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
no, I
sure.
think it's a very bullish time. You know, hopefully hitting more all-time highs very soon. Yeah, as well.
For sure, for sure. I agree with you. So I know that you guys have been pretty much heads down for getting live on mainnet with Botanix, but the fact that you guys are in the leverage industry and perps, you know, had to ask you your opinion. And if you don't have one yet, that's fine. But you know, recently, you know, basically equities have been tokenized. We're talking about like MicroStrategy, Tesla. If there's enough demand from like the Bitcoin ecosystem for that, is that something that Artura is open to possibly adding to like the Perps and Leverage platform?
Yeah, definitely. I think our mission has always been to try to give leverage exposure to assets that otherwise, you know, you may not be able to. And this is, you know, what's so good about the synthetic model is that it's very easy for us to onboard, you know, any new assets, either like RWAs, you know, different, or, you know, any new meme coins or like any new sort of, you know, I guess like standard that's drafted up, whether it's on chain or off chain. Yeah, offering like a high leverage on that as well. So really, it's like if the traders want it, like we can put it on there, and that's like an advantage that we have over a lot of other perp dexes, with the advantage of being on Bitcoin as well.
Yeah,
it does seem like we lost him. Did you lose him at all, or you heard?
No, I still hear him.
Maybe might be on my side.
Yeah. Instant. Do you think? You know? So, second question that's related to that, though. Do you think that this new, I guess, like adoption is good or bad for crypto?
That's a good question. I think, you know, I think it just kind of comes down to your own like personal philosophy. I think like there's people that are like really gatekeepy of, you know, just keeping everything like on chain, sort of the revolution of, you know, of sort of DeFi against, you know, TradFi and crypto against, you know, TradFi and things like that. And now there does seem to be a merger. You know, I don't think it's all necessarily like a bad thing. I think like to some degree, like crypto is here and the blockchain is here to sort of optimize and sort of, you know, offer like solutions to things maybe in like traditional finance that people don't like and are, you know, they hit like all the hidden transactions and deals and things like that. And this is what, you know, regulations, and this is what crypto is there. And I think if there can be, at least in the short term, a merger between these two sort of I guess systems that benefit each other in the short term, at least, I think this is a good thing to becoming fully decentralized in the future.
Absolutely. It's almost kind of like, not necessarily, I hate to say like, you know, we need them or whatever, but like I feel like it's more of like they definitely need us for sure, because they're kind of like in this industry that's fading a little bit because of what crypto brings. When I say fading, obviously there's still like trillions of dollars there. I mean more from a technical and like actually like government adoption, nation states and stuff, and entities too now. So they realize they have to come play with us, and for us, you know, we're kind of like, okay, if you guys need us, then, you know, we'll help you, but help us too at the same time by bringing over these people that normally wouldn't even touch anything in the digital asset world, but now is more kind of open-minded to it.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of agree with those sentiments as well. You know, we'll see how things go. I think if you're looking for a decentralized future, these are like good first steps to take no matter what.
Agreed.
100%. Stan says perps are a W. I was late to hop on. It's refreshing to hop on an up and comer early. Yeah, and that's what a lot of our partners are. Artura is, you know, you can't get burned by these guys because there's nothing to be burned by. You go there, you use the platform. It's absolutely exciting. Botanix is out there putting the stamp of approval on them, and they are not going to put their stamp of approval on anybody. They're going to vet these teams and make sure that they are going to be a top notch and absolutely awesome. But Instant Man, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for coming in and giving our audience an opportunity to be one of the first people actually on your platform.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely dropped some alpha here ahead of like, you know, many other people. So I can't wait to share more with you guys in the next few days and coming weeks. But yeah, thanks for having us on.
For sure. Appreciate you, sir. And we will talk soon.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Absolutely awesome, guys. And like I said, a lot of our partners, like Sats Terminal, for instance, right? I mean, opportunity knocking on your door, free money, right? Bet BTC, same thing. I mean, just using the platform gets you an airdrop. Artura, so on and so on. Jungle, Ordinal Hive. There's so much opportunity in just our partners alone. And you might think that like we're shilling them. I mean, there's nothing to shill. There's nothing to shill. I mean, it's just opportunity. And on a lot of these, especially Artura, there's nothing but opportunity for our people there. So that's kind of why we kind of give you guys that opportunity to learn every Tuesday with Artura. So
yeah, and it's more about education of the product and service that they offer. Like they all offer some sort of robust product and service, and the Bitcoin ecosystem is the perfect place for us to kind of be able to educate you guys about, because it's the one, in my opinion, that sleepy, sneaky narrative that I think is going to be much bigger than anticipated by a lot of the people in the space. But yeah, that was fun for sure, guys. You don't have to read between the lines too much here. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Use Botanix. You're gonna earn Bitcoin. And by the way, we're gonna have someone that's really important from Botanix on next week for a recording. So make sure you're listening to that, because it's always interesting to hear from that founder or C-suite level of these new chains. And we're gonna have her on next week, which is gonna be interesting, and exciting. I truly believe that. But Cash Cats came in with a comment, says the big beautiful disaster of a bill has passed the Senate. So does that mean that Bitcoin is running? It looks like a little bit.
So what? It has to go back to the House now? And they're just it's so confusing. So every time they make a change, it has to go back to the other people. So there's ping ponging it back and forth, making little freaking changes every time.
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, like if you amend it, and you know what they did? Like they just want to get it passed, because if they don't, the taxes roll up like big
didn't
time.
it pass on Friday when JD Vance had to come in?
I thought so.
So what? It's like every day. It's so annoying.
You know what they did? They put unlimited amendments. So when you put unlimited amendments, like that could literally and they debated it last night.
It's going to be 74 years.
No, it has to get there before I think the 7th, because if it doesn't, then those taxes that are like baked in will affect. Actually, they affect the middle class the most. I think like the lower middle class. So
yeah. All right. I got more stuff here to jump into. So Circle applies for a U.S. National Trust bank license. This is absolutely insane. Circle is now going to become. I can't see them not getting denied, because they have everything that normal.
They have those connections, and they have the connections. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have. So Circle could be one of the largest banks in the world. Like at this point, like this is something I don't know why I didn't see coming, but I kind of should have, right?
Well, I mean, so we always knew that like stable coins in wallets are the two that are most associated with possible like the banking industry and like bank accounts, so we saw it coming. But I think what will be a huge eye-opener if we start hearing stuff like Circle is going to be acquiring Wells Fargo or something crazy like that. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't think they could go for the jugular and go for JP Morgan or anything. I don't think they would ever sell number one. Plus, they're deep into the digital. Now they're deep into the digital market asset industry. So, but if Circle starts acquiring like a smaller bank, that would be that.
Well,
we
I
know
don't think they need to acquire anything. They can just.
But
they can
I mean, it could help them.
They
don't need it. They don't need it. But like if they could bring on that much business and try to convert a lot of the stuff over to digital, that could help their collateral and just help that whole business model a lot.
Have the collateral. Let's just say that they get approved, right? They're sitting on 1-to-1 that potentially they can lend out 90% of that going to the how the banking system works.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, technically they could, right? So, and that's the thing too. Imagine going to Circle and opening an account, getting your direct deposit from your job or from the your pay, and then they ask you, would you like, you can withdraw this to a blockchain, or you can withdraw this in cash, or you can just there's no in between anymore. The stable coins are your money. Like when your direct deposit comes in, technically they're stable coins, and then you can choose to use them on chain, or you can choose to use them to pay your mortgage. Like you're full crypto at that point. Like that's exciting.
They do need to do. I think the fee market is going to get very competitive in the next like probably 2 years, is because like right now, like the crypto industry, the Web3 industry, the on and off ramps have gotten away with being able to charge whatever they wanted because it was kind of like this non-regulated and all these things. But like there's going to be competition, and that's why I think a lot of people are choosing to build on Arbitrum, where the gas is so cheap and stuff. Because I'm telling you this, like if you pay with like a debit or credit card for your utility bills, you get charged a certain percentage, right? But you know, the debit card's less than the credit card. So like the thing is that how's that going to translate to the stablecoin industry? Because people aren't going to want to pay the higher percentage, right? So I think there's going to be that's where some of these chains are probably. How much does Optimism cost? Is it close to kind of Arbitrum?
It's almost nothing. Yeah,
exactly. So that's why there are probably two servicers that are being looked at right now, right? So it's going to be interesting because if they can get the percentage really minimal for fees, that's going to be such a big like mainstream adoption thing that the society will just accept that.
And let's just say you go to the place and say, hey, if you pay with stablecoin, it's cheaper. Like, you know what I mean? Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they're saving money, so why shouldn't you? Right?
Yeah.
Like, let's just I mean, but we'll see. Moving along here, Tom Lee. And for anyone who doesn't know who Tom Lee has been somebody who, since I've entered crypto, I've seen on CNBC talking bullish on Bitcoin. He's never really talked outside of Bitcoin on CNBC, from my knowledge. He has said things like, yeah, I believe in all crypto and stuff like that. But now Tom Lee says Ethereum could be the next Bitcoin. And he's not just saying that. He's actually becoming the chairman of a company. So a fun strat, that's Tom Lee's company, is Tom Lee is joining Bitmine, BMNR, as chairman. The company plans to raise $250 million and become the MicroStrategy of Ethereum. Amazing, one of the largest public ETH treasuries. So amassing one of the largest ETH treasuries. So this is insane because Tom Lee understands controlling Ethereum controls the chain. If like Michael Saylor, it doesn't matter. Let's just say he gets 5 million Bitcoin. He will never have say in the Bitcoin blockchain. It doesn't matter how much Bitcoin he gets because it's not proof of stake. He needs to have the hash power. The hash power is who decides who controls the chain, right? And that is so decentralized, it's almost impossible. It would cost like $100 billion to get like 30% of the hash power, and that's you're buying miners that are going to be outdated probably within the time you buy them. But when you're buying Ethereum, you actually control the chain. If you and your buddies are able to get 51% of the Ethereum, you control every part of the governance. You control it completely. So Tom Lee's actually he's one of the few people that gets it.
Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin's unique too, though. Like, I guess there's certain levels of changes that need different things. Like when Core voted on the op return change, it was literally in that forum, but it wasn't like it wasn't even a soft fork or anything like that. But you're right. Like, this is a total business strategy, and Tom Lee has been money when it comes to Bitcoin's forecast. Money. They laughed at him on CNBC. Remember, they laughed at him in his face, and he's like, he actually didn't even take it personal. That's what I love about him. Is like, he's so chill. They were laughing at him, and he was like, but that's what I think. So, and then he was right. And then he was right again. I think he called it twice. So this to me is like
right
$2 trillion of stable.
I'm not playing. I'm just showing everyone. This is the Tom Lee that we're talking about. So.
Yeah. So to me, this is straight business. And someone that isn't emotional and people laughing at him in the face and stuff, they probably have really good business instincts, because that's how good business people are. They're like, nothing is emotional, nothing is personal, it's business. And I think that's why he's going here. Of course, the Bitcoin maxis like went after him with stakes and stuff like that, trying to take his head off here. But that's how they are.
They're scumbags. They're the old. So when people hate JP Morgan, they're gonna hate Max Kaiser the same way, right? It's just the same thing. They bring nothing to Bitcoin except
it's all self-interest. It's all self-interest,
exactly.
but they act like they're
more
like
decentralization and
moral and all this stuff.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Ethereum's going to be centralized. If anything, it's going to be the most centralized chain out there. But I mean, you can say the same thing about a lot of other things. Bitcoin will always be the decentralized chain, the best money. But Ethereum
Exactly.
can be
We
special
always
as well.
recognize that. We always
Yeah.
on this show, like that's one thing we'll never deny is that to us, Bitcoin is the most solid asset in this entire class. But when there's opportunity, there's opportunity. It's like
Yeah.
trying to say like the color blue is red. You know what I mean? But like you
Yeah.
see it.
100%. No, 100%. And the opportunity is there. And there's going to be significant money entering Ethereum. And I don't mean like buying up Ethereum, just like I want to see the whole economy come online. And it seems like they're coming. I'd rather see Ethereum win than Solana. I don't know. Am I just being an a-hole? I just don't like Solana.
Well, I mean, there's many reasons to kind of get, I think, tied up with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll admit, I've been tied up with. Look, I've played on Solana, I've made some money there, but I'm also see it's how much it was like all the bad things that was on Ethereum in 2020, 2021. It was like times 10 happened on Solana. This like right, and so to me, I remember that on Ethereum and BNB and all these things, or BSC, but. Here's the thing with Solana though. Solana has a lot of backing here, institutional plus speculation, but like maybe not speculation. I don't know. I think they have some support in higher places probably. But anyways, both will succeed in my opinion.
100%. But then right after Tom Lee said this, I don't know if this was planned or what, but SharpLink came out with a thing where they just bought 4,951 Ethereum worth 12.4 million, and then right after that, Fidelity put out a thing and they bought 10,283 Bitcoin. So like, hey, Tom Lee, you want to start a strategic Ethereum reserve? We've already been doing that. So that's SharpLink and Fidelity.
That one's bigger to me. I mean, SharpLink. No, I mean like the name, right? Obviously, SharpLink. SharpLink has been acquiring, and they had some big purchases. I think it was the second one. This one, right? The first one was like 400 million.
Yeah, it was. Now they're just kind of just buying it. So they had their first initial SharpLink, and now they're just kind of microsalarying it, right? So when the price goes up, they can probably buy more because their stock price goes up. So really cool there. But moving along here. So yesterday during right before the show, this news came out. I didn't have time to put it in. So it's kind of older news, but I do have some cool things here. So Bhutan government wallet sends 137 Bitcoin, 14.75 million to Binance, but still holds 1.28 billion. So Bhutan is a Bitcoin miner. They're a country that's mining, but they do take profit on their miners. They use Kraken, they use Binance, right? So yesterday they sent I love that says the royal government of Bhutan. They're just trading Bitcoin. They're mining it and then selling it. But the question you asked me yesterday is, are they still leading the race? So I found this cool site, bitbo.io. Guys, if you're not using the site, the charts are absolutely amazing. I'm blown away by the I don't know why I didn't hear about these guys until this week, but the charts on here, they have everything you need. So this is Bitcoin treasuries by Bitbo. So USA, obviously, we have over 200,000 Bitcoin. China right there with 194. The UK with 61,000. Ukraine with 46. But Bhutan is right behind Ukraine, but still way ahead of El Salvador. And then Finland's just like, hey, we're here with a little under 2,000. But Bhutan still the number 5 here.
Yeah, there's a country not on there that's kind of shocking to me. You know which one?
Who's that?
Who's the world powers considered top 3? USA, China, and
Russia.
Yeah, they're not on there at all.
Yeah, and they might be trying to take Ukraine's, right? But there is probably some countries that are just like, I mean, that's what about Bitcoin. You just don't know, right? Like there might be a country with like 100,000 that just hasn't,
reported.
They haven't reported because they don't want the number to go up yet. They're still accumulating. But yeah, really cool to kind of see, dude. Isn't it crazy that it's US, China, UK, and Ukraine and Bhutan? Like it's insane that Poland's not on here, France is not on here. Like it's pretty wild to me, actually.
Well, like France, definitely, in my opinion, probably one of the heavily involved countries into like the global elite. That whole WEF thing. And so I'm not too shocked there because they were completely against digital assets.
Did you hear Candace? I don't want to say her name because I might get banned. But did you hear her thing this morning about Okay, we'll talk about it after the show. I don't want to get banned because it's it's really nuts. Apparently,
Does it have to do with crypto?
DJT called her. No, it doesn't. DJT called her. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. So Connecticut officially bans the state from creating a Bitcoin reserve or investing any digital assets. So if you live in Connecticut, get the hell out of there because it seems like a terrible place to live. They officially banned the state from creating a Bitcoin reserve. Apparently, they banned the internet at one point as well in the early 90s. So
yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what their arguments have been about this.
They're just trash. All right. S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 both closed yesterday at all-time highs. So it's telling to me that Bitcoin is undervalued right now. So we have these assets. I mean, Bitcoin's right there though, right?
It is. I feel like there's just like this dance that's happening right now, probably because the leverage and perps industry is heavily manipulated, I feel like. And I mean, when it's go time, I still think it's gonna be go time, but man, they've been really dancing around a lot. I'll say that.
100%. The next thing here, Trump says Fed Chair Powell and the board should be ashamed. Claims the U.S. should be paying 1% interest or less. So this is him saying like the reason why the debt is out of control is because we're at 4.5%. You got to remember the U.S. has to pay that to bondholders, right? So he's basically saying like Powell is the reason why we're paying trillions of dollars, or our deficit is $2 trillion a year.
Does the Fed does the Fed get a cut?
I don't know, but they're keeping rates. I don't know. I think something's about to happen, dude. I mean, Trump's out here every single day, and you got to remember the people that are under Powell, they want to keep their jobs, right? They want to stay on the board,
or they want to,
right?
they want to take his job though,
or they want his job. I mean, who's more? I mean, it's usually the people that have been doing it for a long time. But we will see who Trump appoints, but they are looking for his successor. But if Powell doesn't step down, his last day will be in March, and it doesn't seem like he's going to step down. So, moving along here, though, Dotswap just announced that CLMM coming to Bitcoin in L1, giving liquidity providers access to more advanced DeFi strategies. I looked up. CLMM stands for Concentrated Liquidity Market Makers. Dotswap Nexus is using an agentic approach that Casey described in Hell Money Pod a few months ago. So they're basically using AI kind of in the back end,
or like an automated approach. I don't know how much AI is being used in it. Would love to get those guys on to kind of explain this, but hey, that's if they are using this and it's working, that's a big win. That's a big win. 100%. Yeah, I wonder what an AMM would be like without MEV, completely without MEV. Is there one? Does MinSwap?
Well,
MinSwap probably doesn't.
MEV is just sniping. At the end of the day, it's all it is sniping. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, but I guess it's doing it through like automation through like smart contracts. I guess I'm not sure, but like that's the one thing Casey wanted to keep out of Rune's protocol. But with this agentic approach, I imagine he didn't. It's you can do things automated transactions and stuff like that without having that. So I don't know. Interesting. Dotswap. Hey, I'll tell you what, this team, man, they've like built through the ups and downs and probably didn't have a bunch of funding in the beginning and then got it and some funding, but they've been here. And I would, if they become like the main AMM, I think they probably earned it, right?
I mean, they already are. Like, I mean, most of the transactions through Sats Terminal go through Dotswap and Magic Eden, I guess, as well. So, OKX, wondering why Dog is taking over your timeline? Head to the Dog Perp page on our app and tap the feed tab to see what's cooking. So, I'm not sure what this is about, but everyone's saying now that OKX is about to list Dog, potentially even this week.
Oh, that would be big, right? I think that would be a pretty good win.
Is that smacking Kraken and going, nope, we're still here?
No. I think that's saying we want some support, and the Dog army looks like a huge strong community.
Yeah.
And so I think it'd be stupid to not take advantage of that. But you know, OKX doesn't excite me as much anymore as they like whenever they first would list the token, maybe in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I think it'd be more exciting probably to see something like maybe even HTX. Obviously, Binance would be a big one. Bybit would be a good one, I think. But we'll see. We'll see how. I think OKX is that first one, and then because they're in the East, Bybit will see it, Binance will see it, and then we'll see if they kind of all come on board.
It's only a matter of time, and they got to remember too. OKX listed RuneCoin, right? Which is
I mean, pay to play though.
It's it was pay to play, but my point is they already have the tooling to list all. Like they can list it tomorrow with no problem. But yeah, we have a few comments here before we get out of here. Cash Cat said the big beautiful disaster of bill passed. Senate, we read that already. Cash said the ticker is Circle, not financial advice. I agree with that, dude. I think Circle's going to be like,
but they're going to be digitized, right?
Yeah, dude. I think Circle's going to be the biggest thing in crypto. Stan says, okay, is this the most action BTC has ever had? Projects are springing up everywhere. What are the dev sentiment? Are these new or old devs existing Ethereum? So most of the devs here have built in other places, whether that's Solana or Ethereum. But yeah, I mean, to his questions here, I mean, this is the most action Bitcoin has ever had. I mean, every day there's more action than the previous.
Yeah,
for sure.
And that's something that was kind of, I think, hard for you to kind of notice at first because from a retail perspective, user perspective, it was just like dead for so long. But I was like, dude, but look at the builder ecosystem. It's starting to grow. There's like Dapper Labs is investing. All these VCs are coming in, and I could see your point to, from a retail perspective, still seem dry and stagnant and stuff. But as that time happened, whenever we started noticing that earlier this year, I would say February, kind of, because that's whenever we're like rock bottom here. Yeah. It has grown exponentially more. And it's like new project here, new solution here, new solution here. So go ahead.
In my defense, there is no products right now, right? Like there's like everything that's building is building, right?
Yeah.
So but we haven't seen anything. Like you can't say Arch works, you can't say Middle works, you can't even say Spark works because we're just not seeing it yet.
Yeah, but you're not even seeing like the attempts in other ecosystems as much right now.
We are more not
here.
Seeing it, but there is a lot of attempts.
We're more focused here, but I mean, it's undeniable that there's a solution and a pain point that like so many people are trying to solve, not just from native people that've been here for 6 months, 12 months. You're talking about Sui's about to release like a bunch of Bitcoin products. You got Cardano that's been working on it for over a year. You got Near's kind of a little bit, that's kind of fading a little bit, but ICP. So my point that I'm making is Stan, it's the most active. And that's why I feel like the narrative is a little bit of a sneak. It's like a sleeper, in my opinion. I feel like we're starting to notice it more and more, but it could really explode if the right solutions come. Now, to Shizzy's point, yes, it's been a lot of this is coming, but we do know that there's also been millions of dollars injected into them by different investors, and that happens, when there's a lot of hype and stuff like that. But at least there's stuff to be excited about. Let's hopefully see stuff roll out. I think Botanix rolling out was a big thing today. We'll see what happens.
Well, Botanix, there is. I mean, it's just an ETH fork, right? At the end of the day, like it's not like it's basically Merlin. I mean, there's no difference in what Merlin brought a year ago than Botanix is bringing to the table, except there might be some really cool aspects of EVM in there. But like, there's nothing that it's doing for Bitcoin layer. I mean, anyone can really use Lightning, right? I mean, it's just you basically just have a Lightning wallet built in, just the same way you would use the same way Merlin's using Bitcoin and Merlin. It's the same thing. It's you're just using account abstraction.
But no one has done it yet with Lightning. But we'll see. We'll see if that makes that big of a difference.
I mean, account abstraction is account abstraction. It's just the where you're just deciding to use it.
True.
Right?
True. I agree with that. But no one has done account abstraction with Lightning yet. Is my point. People have done account abstraction with Bitcoin to Cardano, Bitcoin wallets to ICP, Bitcoin wallets to EVM. They haven't done a Lightning Bitcoin wallet yet. So it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. I don't think it makes that much of a difference because I don't think the Lightning user base is that big. But cool that it's there. We'll see if it makes a difference.
But like, how's that beneficial to your chain? Because you're already EVM.
well,
I could send
okay.
you Bitcoin very quickly. What's the? I guess I can send you native Bitcoin that is not actually on the native L1. Like I don't,
Maybe.
you know what I mean?
Maybe
It
that,
just doesn't.
or if they've been working with Spark and there's some sort of like custom integration for bridging Spark assets over. I don't know. You know, there's a
Yeah.
lot. This goes to your point a little bit that there's a lot of stuff that we are hearing about, and we've been in this space enough to know we can pick things up pretty quick. But we still got to see the new stuff, you know, and like LRC20, we don't know what that's going to be like. What is it compatible with? What are they trying to bridge in and out? All these things like that. So I don't know. The good news is there's new stuff.
There's new stuff, but at the same time, like for Arch, for instance, right? We heard Arch maybe potentially March, April, June. Now we're here in August, and then in August we'll probably hear October. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I just it's going to be hard to roll up transactions and putting them on Bitcoin because of that 10 minutes on top of potential. It's not easy what these guys are trying to do. Like that's the biggest thing. It's the hardest thing in the world. And if it's easy, we'd already have it.
Yeah.
But like my point is it possible? Like that's where I'm getting now with all these delays and and you're not seeing a lot. Is these things they're trying to do even possible?
I think so. I think with enough money you can make it possible, even if you have to fake
that's
it
not
to
true.
make it. Even if you have to fake it to make it.
Then you're not then you're basically a Solana competitor and you're not even building on Bitcoin.
I mean,
if Arch doesn't roll
number
up,
go up.
I'm just
Technology
saying
is the best.
But I'm not like we're going to have opportunities to make money. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying opportunities to roll up these transactions and kind of do. If they're successful, they're going to be. I mean, there's going to be absolutely insane.
From that,
is it possible to do that?
I think it is, because if it wasn't, then BitVM would have gave up a long time ago. So I think it's possible, but not necessarily in.
Well, they're not using BitVM. Arch and
no. I'm not talking about them. You asked if it's possible at all. I think it is possible to roll transactions up and finish on Bitcoin layer 1.
BitVM isn't rolling transactions up.
Yeah, they are. They are. You're going to be able to roll transactions up on Merlin using BitVM.
Using BitVM though, like so. Yeah, so
to kind of validate the transactions on Bitcoin, that all these transactions from Merlin were legitimate and stuff like that. But we're talking about hypotheticals still, right?
Yeah.
But in theory, doing all the homework and doing all the building it out with the hammers and all that stuff. I mean, I will say, at being here, it is kind of exhausting, probably way more exhausting for them.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
But they're still at it. You got Citria, you got all these people using BitVM. Let's hope that there's some awesome solutions. But
and to your point, there's big money betting on it. Like DPI is all in, right? They're all in saying this is going to work. So I don't know if they were just like I mean, if they're right, they're going to be one of the biggest investors in the world one day, and if they're wrong, and they're not going to be investing very soon. But we're going to have them on. We're going to get there. We're going to like really ask them the question, and I can't wait for that because I'm excited for Arch. I'm excited for this being possible. But I'm getting to the point now where it's like, show me, homie, right? I think that's kind of how we are. But Stan, the old projects seem to be firmly planted with guys like Tom. Can LTC, Litecoin catch the wave? No, Litecoin can't catch the wave. Oh, ETF incoming. If Bitcoin gotta remember, LTC is a fork of Bitcoin, right? I mean, if Bitcoin has all the power and all the reason to do this type of stuff, if Bitcoin can do it, then they can do it.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. They're probably sitting on the sidelines, and this will benefit not only them, Bell's Coin and some of these other UTXO chains that have had so much friction. So Litecoin, I think, will see what works on Bitcoin the best, and they'll take advantage of that and copy it. But 100%. It's going to take time.
Yep. But that is our show for you guys today. We have 229 people here on YouTube and X, not to mention everyone on Twitch, Spotify, Rumble, Abstract, and Kick. I really appreciate all you guys, man.
For sure. 1000%. We're so thankful for you guys. Without y'all, we couldn't do this each and every day, which we love to do. Hopefully we're entertaining enough for you guys to watch the entire segment. But, without y'all, we couldn't do it. But also without our partners, we couldn't do it. So if you could check them out, we would greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're going to swap runes in a DeFi environment, you got to do it at satsterminal.com. In fact, you save about 1% to 2% if you swap for Dog or the Moon on Sats Terminal versus something like Kraken. We love Kraken, but we also love DeFi more in terms of like having your own, sovereignty over things, and that's what Sats Terminal brings, right? And not only can you swap for all the popular runes, you actually earn Amber points. And what are Amber points? Amber points are these XP type of points that you acquire by utilizing the platform. When you first hook up your wallet for the very first time, you get 1,000 Amber points. And then you can add Amber points by making small transactions or whatever you want to do there. There's a Amber is Forever campaign. If you go to their X account, you can kind of see how you can get more and more points. This team is building for the future. Think about like something like 1inch, but the early days for Bitcoin. That's what they are. They're the aggregator. They aggregate from all the most liquidity places and places that you can really source your runes purchases. But not only runes, they also support alkanes. So if you're into like mist or methane, they have it there. Make sure you guys are heading over to satsterminal.com, follow their X, all that great information. We'll have them on tomorrow for the Sats Terminal segment. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They utilize ICP and Bitcoin's tech stack for you guys to be able to place bets in their markets. You can actually place bets in their blitz markets. Their blitz markets is a 10-minute countdown. The clock is constantly running. You get 10 minutes to kind of lock in either Bitcoin, BNB, or Solana to where you think it's going to go up or down. Then additional 10 minutes to see if you were right or wrong there, to see if you won or lost. But they're going to have some new features coming in the near future, like create your own markets. So if you have good social following, you can earn 1.5% of the total volume that you're following places bets on, right? So you create the custom bet. If you're good at creating that, you can kind of act as a market maker there. And then also they have a refer a friend where you can earn 1% of the total transactional volume there. All you need is a Bitcoin wallet, some Bitcoin in it, and 6 Bitcoin blocks to get started. Head over to betbtc.win today. And then Emblem Vault is doing huge things. By the way, if you are an Agent Hustle, the Agent Hustle is their AI product. If you are a Tensor holder, a TNSR token holder, they are doing the migration to the Hustle token. It is on the Solana, in the Solana ecosystem. We're going to be doing a tutorial later today, but it starts today. It started, so you need to do that migration. Agent Hustle is an AI agent product that they offer to the public right now. He only can work in the Solana ecosystem, but they are working on adding the Bitcoin tech stack as well as some EVM stuff as well. But you're going to be able to use Hustle to, you can ask Hustle, hey, find me a couple solid 5x plays in the Solana ecosystem. He'll bring back 3 to 5 different tokens and give you reasons why he thinks these are solid 5x's. And that's just an example. You can use them for other research purposes. He can actually do the transactions on your behalf as well. Super bullish on the future of Hustle, but you're going to be able to use Hustle in the future too once they add the Bitcoin tech stack to kind of vault your ordinals, because that's what Emblem Vault is known for, is taking ordinals or Bitcoin NFTs, the counterparty stuff from Bitcoin layer 1 to Ethereum, to where you can actually take a loan out on Gandhi, which is an Ethereum, the largest Ethereum lending and borrowing platform. You can take a Taproot Wizard. They offer loans against that right now. But in the future, you're going to be able to do that on Abstract. You're going to be able to do it on Base. I believe Merlin's on there, and then eventually Solana too. But super exciting times for Hustle and Emblem Vault. Don't forget they have a Bitcoin Rune as well. They have their TGE coming in September or October, so around those months in Q4, to where you can actually purchase a pre-sale NFT on OpenSea. It's an ERC 721. And once you get close to the TGE in September, October, they'll give you instructions on how to get those runes into your Bitcoin wallet. Head over to emblem.vision, dive into their docs, join their community. Awesome team there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. We had Instant on today breaking down the exciting launch of Botanix Bitcoin Layer 2, which they're going to be launching on sometime around next week. But Artura is going to be a leverage platform that you're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles like Dog Go to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, Ordi, Sats, etc. But if you're not into trading, that is okay. You can add liquidity to their vaults to help give more, make the platform more formidable, and you can earn passively that way. But the entire time you're going to be earning XP, and that's going to go towards a future give back with their ARA token there. And don't forget, we announced today, Botanix. If you utilize the chain, you're going to be able to earn actual Bitcoin, because that is what they use for their gas token, and that's what they're doing for their give back. So make sure you head over to Artura.finance, dive in, join their community, because they have some amazing experienced traders in there that can kind of give you guys some tips and tricks there. And then Fluid Tokens is the UTXO wizard devs. They have been building on UTXO chains for a while. They started off on Cardano. They are still on Cardano. If you are from the Cardano side of things, you can participate in their Aquarium platform, and you can add some liquidity and earn Babel fees that way. But if you're on the Bitcoin side, they offer staking vaults for Bitcoin Layer 1, the first to offer retail staking vaults. They had the season 1 and 2 of Dog Go to the Moon, and they're going to kick off season 3 at the end of this month or beginning of August. But if you participate in season 2 of Dog Go to the Moon, you need to get your dog rewards along with your original tokens. You do it all in one transaction there. We've been testing out their airdrop tool. The rune side is done. So if you are a founder and you need to airdrop some runes, it's very easy. You got to select the rune side. And then you can upload a CSV file, which is a spreadsheet from Google Sheets or Excel, or you can do it manually one by one. It's up to you. It's really cost efficient and quick. We've been testing out the Alkanes, so the Alkanes is coming, guys. So stay tuned for that. Head over to fluidtokens.com. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet. They built this for the best UI UX experience. Even if you have an Apple iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store. If you have an Android, head over to the Google Play Store. You can download the apps there. You can swap for runes, as they partner with Sats Terminal to make you give you the option to be able to do that directly in the wallet. They also partnered with the Cardano aggregator as well, so you can swap for like SNEC or any other Cardano tokens there. There's going to be support for more than just Cardano and Bitcoin very soon, but we'll let that team talk about that. This team is building for the future. They want to make sure this is a one-stop shop. There's a lot of features coming, guys. And you can also find us there in the alpha section, in the YouTube alpha section at the bottom of the app. But head over to Tokyo.io today. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength with the power of AI. You can utilize their Wizard 0.3 version AI that allows you to do DeFi functions on your behalf, right? So they can swap, they can stake, they can do multiple different things in terms of DeFi. But very soon, you're going to be able to use Merlin's Wizard, the version 0.3. Actually, it's going to be the next upgrade is going to be 0.4. You're actually going to be able to use them for research as well, to kind of see what's the hot tokens in other ecosystems other than Merlin. But speaking of staking, if you want to help secure the chain, there's 3 options here. You have the BTC staking. We did a little bit of a walkthrough yesterday, but right now there's 65 Bitcoin staked in this option. It's going to cap at 100 Bitcoin, but it is locked up until September 30th, just so you guys know. But you can earn 8 to 21%. That's the range, the minimum 8, the max 21%. And then there's the flexible staking, which is the Merlin Chain token, and it's a day-to-day staking. I will say, though, whenever you withdraw, it takes 7 days. So you got to, be patient and make sure that's something you want to do. You can withdraw the rewards on a day-to-day basis, though, and you're earning 15% there. If you want to earn a higher APR, you can select the bonded option there, and it's locked up for 6 months, but you earn 45% APR, which you can also withdraw on a day-to-day. Head over to merlinchain.io today to learn more there. And don't forget about our integrated partners in Jungle AI, formerly Foxy AI, building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, as well as their first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker. And they added support to Bitcoin Derby. And they're also building a launchpad for game developers. You can utilize their templates and customize it there. And don't forget about Ordinal Hive. They are the aggregator Ordinal marketplace. So something similar to what Sats Terminal is doing. You're going to find the cheapest Ordinals around at Ordinal Hive. Thank you guys so much for checking out our partners.
Yep, great job, man. As always, Stan says thanks, guys. I think Coach Katz says boom with the fire. Shout out to you, my friend. But if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChainRevolution.io, if you guys can just go to our website, it'll just help our stats. But definitely go over to OnChainRevolution.io if you guys are interested in articles. We have articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space and really wants to catch up, I think our website is probably the best place to go because like I said, we have articles. I mean, you can just go through the timeline and kind of see what was happening in last July, last August, last September. And we put out these articles weekly. So this is kind of what's going on that's happening. So you can actually read article after article and be just as caught up as somebody who's here a day after day. So definitely check out our newest article right here. Tokenized equities, all about what is happening on Solana right now with these XStocks and everything that's happening over there. So definitely check this out if you are interested in learning. Our website is all about learning. If you would need a VPN, we have the #1 VPN I use. That's Nord. NordVPN gives you access to sites that might geo-block you. And what do I mean by that? Let's just say you go to a site and it says, hey, you're in the US, you can't use our site. Having a NordVPN lets you put your IP address anywhere you want. Like for me right now, I'm in Germany or Spain, but that gives me access to some websites that are blocking me because I'm a U.S. citizen. That's not your country doing that. The U.S. is not doing that. It is them doing that. You don't got to listen to their rules. They're nobody. You can use their site if you want to. This is crypto. This is DeFi. So having a VPN lets you do that. VPNs are not illegal. They're very legal. Your privacy is your right, especially here in the US. You're allowed privacy, and having a VPN gives you that privacy. And you don't want people getting your IP address. Your IP address can actually lead you to your home address. You don't want that. I don't want that. As Bitcoiners, we don't want no one to know where we live. Sometimes people don't even know what city they're in, right? There's very people that are very cautious, and if you're cautious, get a VPN. And if you need merch to rock some shirts, some hats, and stuff like that, you guys can use our third-party Shopify app here, and you guys get hats, shirts, jackets, so much more. Dog Go to the Moon, Billy Cat, T-shirts, hoodies. We have normal stuff as well. We got like some Bitcoin shirts and all this really cool stuff here as well. So check everything out here at OnChainRevolution.io. And guys, remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed, gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.